An open house was held today for the Log Cabin Village on Quincy Island. Historical interpreters provided information on each of the structures where people of all ages could come to learn about the features and history of the cabins. They were built in the mid-1800s and show an insight into the ways of life almost 200 years ago.
It's a good example of the community coming together and preserving some of these cabins. Some of them were preserved, like for the Kiwanis and the Rotary Club and various clubs within the community.
He says it's always great to see when elementary schools take trips to the village to learn about the history of their community. Ahead this week,